if I could,
Of course
I'm
you
the
can.
man on
That's
that.
we're
the
not
one
ending
I
on that.
think I think there's two things that we're missing that I just want to address real quick. She only had about 100 days to run a whole campaign to be president. That's not that much time. So she did a great job in that small window of time. Like, that's ridiculous to galvanize all these people, put this thing together, and run a legitimate race in around 100 days. She got a ton of votes. So there's a lot of people that really look to her and say, hey, maybe this thing could happen. She's the only woman to be on the ticket well, we had Hillary, right? But she's the only woman that looked like her, a woman of color, to be in that position. That's a win. So that's going to encourage young little brown girls, young little black girls to say, I can do that too. That could be one day a black job for girls too, right?
Yeah.
As Trump said, a black job. That's
Mm-hmm.
so insulting.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, and then
The
the other
optics
thing
make
is,
sense. Yeah.
to your point, yeah, she didn't want to distance herself enough from Biden. She still is the vice president. So you can't say your boss is as wrong as he is, which you could, but ideally she ain't wanna do that. And maybe there needed to be somebody to say, hey, here's how you can do it in a soft way.
Right.
Where here's some soft touches where you can then create your own identity without
Right.
shitting on him, without
Right.
saying his presidency is trash. So yeah, she needed some help with that. But
Yep.
again, within around 100 days, I think she did a great job. I think she set it up for somebody else to run next that could look like her, that could, win. It's like in the Bible, a lot of people in the Bible didn't see the promised land, right? They died before it happened.
Right.
However, they set it up so somebody else could get there,
For
right?
sure.
Dr. King didn't see where Barack Obama ended up, right?
Sure.
Malcolm X didn't see it.
Sure.
Medgar Evers didn't see it. How many brothers in leadership positions did not live to see Barack Obama? But they set the foundation. They paved the way. He stands upon their shoulders. So there are some little brown girls, some little black girls in the future that will stand on Kamala's shoulders from what she did this time. So I look at it as a win.
Well said.
So,
Well
I mean,
said.
I can respect that.
I want to sing a "We Shall Overcome" right now.
Well,
I
can respect that. I think that the optics look good. I think the only thing is that I think that she didn't have a lot of time, but I think what's important now is the way media is formed now and the information all voters have. So voters are really looking for more than just hope and vibes. Voters are really paying more attention to what things affect them, and I think that this election kind of showed that. So I think that if she were to do it all over again, my only advice would be to just be who you are. Don't be afraid to be who you are and really just answer questions. Don't try to sidestep and be perfect. Just be yourself. Because honestly, I think a lot of people were thirsty to really know who Kamala Harris was, and I don't think she really presented that enough. So I think that that may be, if anything, and you guys might disagree, that might be something to learn from Donald Trump. Hate him or not, hate him or love him or hate him, you really know who he is, and that's not, you can't necessarily say that about Kamala Harris. I think that her style of campaign was something that we would have got back in '08 with Barack or earlier. But I think in this present day, we have such a different type of dynamic with everyday people. Everyday people are so much more, I think they're more tapped in than when we give them credit for. You know what I mean? So if and a lot of people said this, if Michelle Obama wanted that nomination, they'd have gave it to her. And if Michelle Obama ran, different ball game, because now you have somebody. Well, first of all, and twin, this is no disrespect to Kamala, but she's not African American. That's first and foremost. There's no African American there. I'm saying that she's not African American. I was just correcting that. It's not something to be salty about. I'm just saying. But the point is,
what is your point, little brother?
He's sensitive tonight, man.
Tell me, what is your point, little
okay.
brother?
The point is, I wasn't on a tangent. The point is that, like, Michelle Obama, my point was that if she had got the nomination, she is African American, so she could really galvanize the black vote and say, "Yo, I am you. I grew up in Chicago. I am black." You know what I'm saying? If you wanted to play that route, And she's extremely likable. And I think she's a better orator than Kamala Harris. And she's far more authentic feeling than her. So I think
Well, hopefully
it,
she'll run
I think if she
when
had
Donald
ran,
Trump finally has run his
I think
course.
she'd either beat Trump or gave Trump a run for his money for real. I know you hate
I'm
Trump,
gonna
but you have it's
I'm
America.
gonna
You have the right
co-sign
to hate.
everything y'all just said.
Go ahead, B.
No, I'm gonna co-sign what y'all just said, but I really think though we really forget the importance of not just the presidential election, but like Congress. Like that's big. Really hard for a Democratic president to keep any of those campaign promises when Congress is on the other side and they're fighting them at every turn. And I think voters forget that. And we oftentimes will say, hey, well, this president didn't do this. Well, stuff goes through as a process. And if it's stopped at a certain, it can't go through. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
We forget that as voters sometimes, and we like to blame the president for things not happening or things happening.
Mm-hmm.
And it ain't always that office that does it. So I think that's a lot of times we as voters need to look into who the other elected officials are.
Right.
And what they're doing and how they're kind of and a great example of that is the student loan thing that Biden tried to do.
Mm-hmm.
Right? In theory, great idea, but that got shut down through Congress almost immediately. You know what I mean? Like it's not. Those promises don't go far when the next branch of government is fighting against you.
Right.
So so that's gonna be hard. So that's why this next 4 years is gonna be kind of crazy to watch because it's all Republican now. So if he introduces anything that what's stopping it from going through?
Exactly.
So,
well, yeah, I mean, I think it's a
now
good opportunity. It's going to be a good opportunity to kind of see that if Trump is deranged as everybody says he is, there's a clear open road to really prove that or disprove that. So what's actually even more something to think about is that if he does run the country for the next 4 years and he even does halfway better than the last 3 years, the question will be in 2028. Obviously, he won't run again, but the crazy, deranged, racist Republican, I don't think that'll be a good argument for Democrats. They'll have to spend more time. A lot of people said they'll have to spend more time talking about what we are versus what they are not. And I think that's what I'm hoping to see is that. And now, if they mess up the country even worse and they do some radical, crazy stuff that people are suggesting, then I think it'll be an easy run. But if they introduce policy and the country's in better shape than what it is 4 years from now, what do you run on? Because really, there was not much to run on this time around, but crazy Donald Trump, and that won't even be something to really use next time. You know what I mean? So